Hey y'all, Dekumon here, and welcome back to the Final Fantasy XIV class and job quests. Last time we took down the Archer quest line, and now it's time to start the Bard. But first, I want to address something. Someone had a very good suggestion that is unfortunately mired by, my own ineptitude here. See, they had a really good idea. You said I should do the class, well, not the class quest, because we can't do this in class quest, but I should do the job quests in the artifact armor that you get from these jobs. Now, that's not a bad idea, but the problem is I don't have most of the artifact armors. I should say, I don't have most of them anymore. The old ones, the level 50 ones, the game basically forces them into your inventory. You can't avoid having them. So those aren't a problem. The problem comes from the 60s and the 70s. I guess technically the 80s too, because I don't really look for any of the 80s. But I checked the Calamity Salvager. I only have 2 sets of level 60 artifact armor in there. Okay. Getting them back is not feasible. Plus, I should add that, I'm gonna be honest, most of the early artifact armors, they don't look too good. I mean, seriously, I'm gonna show you. I actually bought, back from the Calamity Salvager, the level 50 Bard armor, and I want to show it to you. Because compared to what I have on right now, I find this, like, fugly in the extreme. Where are all the pieces of the coral set? Because, my god, no, not you. Coral. I'm sorry. This is an eyesore. This is painful to look at to me. I can't do it. I can't do it, and I will not subject you to it. No, sir. I have glamour plates for a reason, and I intend to keep using them. That being said, it was a good idea. I will definitely say it was a good idea. If I had all of the 60 sets and all of the 70 sets available to me, I might have done it. But I don't. And I don't know of a way to easily access those sets again. So we're just gonna plow through with what we got. Besides changing out my gear for those lower level things, I'd still steamroll basically everything through these quests, I promise you. Oh right, I have to be an archer again to start this quest. There. Back to having most of my abilities turned off. All right, Lucienne, show me how to become a bard in a song of bards and bowmen.
Well met, Dekumon. Would that we had time for banter, but we're all up in arms here. Yet another exotic dirigible has been spotted over the Trollswood, you see. Their reappearance calls to my mind the Battle of Griffin Crossing. Well, I say battle. Most are agreed that massacre would be rather more apt. Aye, the Ixali dealt us a crushing defeat that day. Right around this time of year it was, more than 2 decades past, too. A humiliating episode in our history, to be sure, but heavens forbid that we ever forget it. Failure is the finest, if not the kindest, of teachers, and few things drive a man better than its sting. But do let's speak of cheerier matters. Mayhap you've already heard, but a renowned archer has recently returned to the Trollswood, the one they call the God's Bow. That's just a title, of course. His birth name is Jahantel, and he was once of the God's Quiver. The man was a legend even then, and there was no honor greater than being taken under his tutelage. But that's not all there is to him, mind you. Jahantel was also a skilled bard, one of the rare few capable of inspiring others to great feats through song. Upon learning that the God's Bow had returned, dozens of us flocked to him in hopes of training under a legend, yours truly included. Alas, the meetings haven't unfolded quite as well as we had hoped. Jahantel has refused to teach each and every suitor that has approached him thus far. Though it should be mentioned that the topics he is reluctant to instruct us in do not include poetry and song. He seems exceedingly keen to teach us all about them. Some few of us were tempted to take him up on the offer, save that we had a nation to defend. Far be it from my intent to belittle all those bards out there, but I like my chances rather better charging into battle with a quiver than a harp. And here we were hoping that transcendent mastery of the bow might be ours. By the sparkle in your eyes, I'd wager you have an interest in that self-same poetry and song. Come now, there is no call for shyness, and there is more to life than battle. If you would present yourself as a pupil to Jahantel, I happen to know his whereabouts. I'm given to understand that he has made camp somewhere west of the quarry mill, in the South Shroud. Jahatnul is an agreeable sort of fellow, and should be willing enough to meet with you. But truth be told, I'm still holding on to hope. If you could find a way into Jahatnul's confidence, mayhap he can yet be persuaded to train us. I wish you the best of luck, friend.
I think I might be tempted. Gotta say, this is probably one of the weirder places for a job trainer to be relocated, out in the middle of the frickin' woods, but I suppose it makes sense for the character being, you know, this wandering bard. Look at him, playing his bow like it's a harp.
Ah, another guest. You are kind to pay me visit, young one. Naught gives us elderly folk more pleasure than the company of the young. Add to that a steaming pot of tea and the beauty of the Twelveswood, and we could want for little more. Ah, but the curl of your lip tells me that tea and scenery are not what you desire. You seek knowledge of archery, I take it. In which case, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. Dekumon, was it? Yes, I am Jahantul, the one they call the God's Bow, but that was in another life. I have long cast aside my bow, taking instead a harp to my breast. For years I have lived as a bard, going wherever the wind blows, exulting in the beauty of creation through song. And to be sure, I still have the eyes to recognize a promising archer when I see one, and you, young one, have promise. Keep your nose to the grindstone, and one day you may count yourself a virtuoso of the bow. You know that virtuosity is worthless without virtue. Aye, the words of the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool tell us this much.
Dude, I can tell that thing on your back is still a bow.
You truly wish to remain and learn poetry and verse? Well. I must admit to being rather taken aback. In uncertain days such as these, there are few indeed who would devote their time to song as opposed to more tangible endeavors. You intrigue me, young one. I find myself growing curious as to how the melodies of old might find expression through you. I do believe a certain friend of mine would be of the selfsame opinion. Aye, that would be a good place as any for us to begin. Listen well, Dekumon. There is a Moogle named Puknopoki who can often be found wandering in areas situated east of here. I would have you present yourself to him. Puknopoki is possessed of a discerning eye for talent. If he sees potential in you, I should be well satisfied that you indeed have the makings of a bard. Heed me, O Pusant Anklith. Turn thee over the hourglass of time, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore.
My man White might wax philosophy, but that is very clearly a bard weapon on his back. Much like mine is, although his folds up a little better. There you are, hiding in the trees, little buddy.
Papa! How could this have happened? It's just so embarrassing! A blunder for the ages, Kupo! You understand what I'm saying, don't you? That's a rare talent, I'll allow. But you've caught me at a bad time, Kupo. Now, you could venture and show yourself out. Wait, Jahantul sent you? Oh, you should have said so sooner, Kupo. You do know that Jahantul is no ordinary bard, yes? His songs can salve your heart and strengthen your resolve. They can banish your fears and fill you with hope. And that's not even scratching the surface. Why, to hear him perform is like bathing in sunbeams, Kupo. I've asked, begged, and pled more times than I get to count for Jahantul to stay and sing in the forest. Only now I see deign to set foot here again. But he's refusing to sing for us. That's a blatant breach of promise, Kupo. But what's this? Why, your being resonates with a chord similar to Jahantul's. Perhaps even identical, Kupo. By the 12, this means that things may yet turn out as planned. Why, you might even have it in you to surpass the man. And that's saying a lot, Kupo. Hey, cats! Your coming has me so excited my predicament nigh escaped my mind. There's a charm that I meant to give to Jahantul, you see, but it was stolen as I napped, Kupo. I roused just in time to spy the thief and attempted to give chase. Alas, drowsiness robbed me of my balance and I was delayed by this tree.
Sure you were, little buddy, sure.
Last I saw of that overboard brigand, he, or possibly she, was scurrying towards Tigger's Rock, Kupo. Now, I realize we've only just met, but would you mind recovering the charm and delivering to Jahantul in my stead?
I wonder if said charm might be a job crystal. Thankfully, I'm high enough level that all the red enemies in here just, like, don't want a piece of me. Oh, yep, it's a job crystal. I gotta say, Puko's voice here really strains the old throat.
Have you recovered the charm?
Yes, here.
You did it, Kupo! Please, you must now deliver to Jahantel. Tell them that Puktopoki thanks him a cunning rogue, but is excited nonetheless. So excited, in fact, that he cannot help but sing.
No. Ah, but that's the turn-in. I'm back.
Welcome back, Dekumon. You have a charm and a message from me from Puktopoki, you say?
Yeah, here.
A cunning rogue, am I? I suppose I must explain. Puktopoki and I go back a long way, to when first I took up the harp. I made a promise to him then, one that I have yet to make good on. Puktopoki has long decided that I remain in the 12s to sing for the rest of my days. Regrettably, I have been ill able to oblige him. Duty called, you see. I had battlefields to stand upon and comrades to protect. Moreover, an event came to pass that rendered my being in the 12s problematic. I thought that by taking eager souls such as you under my wing, mayhap it would suffice to appease Puktopoki. Of course, he saw straight through my little ruse. The Mughals lack in grace they amply make up for in wit. The creatures are great lovers of song. That you return with this charm is proof positive of his high regard for your potential as bard and archer both. The charm is a crystal known as the Soul of the Bard. Puktopoki asked that you bring it to me, but he meant it for you to have it. It is a gift from the Mughals, bestowed upon those they deem worthy of walking the path of the true bard. The soul of the bard harbors memories of the past, verses and refrains sung by the bards of old. As you gain in worldly experience, more of these memories will find expression through your being, imbuing your song with powers untold. Now, it may surprise you to hear that Bowmen and Bards are next of kin. By the same token, mastery of song is dependent upon one's prowess as an archer. The sense in this will be lost upon you at first, but in time the realization will dawn that bow and harp but stringed instruments played by the same hand. Go now, Dekumon, and let your body and soul drink deep of the melodies of old. When next we meet, I hope to see a fully fledged bard standing before me, one who exceeds even Puktopoki's wildest expectations.
Well, at the very least, I'll be able to put the crystal on now. Bard officially unlocked. And then, of course, you want me to be 35 to get the next quest. And what did I start with? Why, Mage's Ballad, of course, which is very different now than what it was when we first got it. Oh, yes, indeed. The quest to learn the action Perform is now available from Simpkin. Oh, yeah. Bards have that unique ability to basically entertain/annoy the crowds, as you will. There we are. I am now back to being a proper bard. Who really needs to find something to put in that slot. I don't know. Sure, I'll figure something to go in that slot. In the meantime, the Archer's Anthem. Ah, that glint of determination in your eyes is a testament to your newfound strength. You put me in mind of my salad days, Dekumon. You would know why I truly abandoned the battlefield and became a bard. That I took an arrow to the knee is what most folks believe. Skyrim jokes. But it is quite clear you are not most folk. Very well. I shan't insult your intelligence with an untruth. For now, allow me to answer by saying that everything in creation is given to change, and man most of all. I was drawn to the power of song, the power to touch the very souls of men, and decided that I must pursue it. Sadly, that power has been all but forgotten in this age of cynicism. Such songs as was performed by tavern bards served no purpose beyond the amusement of drunkards. But that was not always the way of it. There was a time when song could shape the outcome of conflict. Ever since nations first quarreled, armies have fielded archers wherewith they rained death upon the enemy from afar. As the battle unfolded, however, the distinction between the lines of friend and foe would grow hazy, yet the archer's part did not end there. He had to stay ever alert, with arrow nocked and eyes trained upon the struggle. Even as his comrades fell, turning the earth red with their blood, the archer could ill afford to avert his gaze, lest that moment cost another his life. One need not have a vivid imagination to appreciate the torrent of emotions that raged within him in that moment. Nerves near to fraying, his breast fit to burst, the archer did the only thing he could. He sang. His bow became a makeshift instrument, plucked as an accompaniment. That kid trap is getting awful close. Should I do something about that? Don't worry about him, he's harmless. At first, the archer sang only to still the roiling within, but his voice changed to carry out to his comrades. It inspirited those engaged in combat, lending strength to their sword arms, and to those who lay upon the precipice of death,
it granted a measure of peace. Realizing the tactical potential of song, yet loath to set aside skilled archers for that purpose, armies began raising dedicated regiments of minstrels. But the members of such units were no warriors, Dekumon. Fair of voice and nimble of finger, these career minstrels could find a place in the hall of any lord. Yet they knew not of the burden borne by those who charge into battle, whose lot it is to dance with death and sup on pain, and so their songs rang hollow, holding no power of the hearts of men. In eastern Lenosia, spirits are said to haunt the trees of Raincatcher Gully. I would ask you to travel there and await the emergence of these spectres. Through force of arms, you are to release their spirits from their tormented existence and, in the doing, ease their unfathomable suffering. With such a deed might you draw forth an ancient melody from the soul of the bard.
I think I can do just that. Oh, I see. You want me all the way up there. Well, that's a trick. Hang on. There we go. Ups the daisy. Now I just need to wait for these so-called spirits to pop up. Oh, hello. There. Probably easy enough. All right. Sorry, buddy, but you're actively concerning me just being here. And wait, there's a second. Really? Fine. That guy was actively concerning me just being there.
Welcome back, Dekumon. In the eyes I see a layer of understanding, of regret and of futility. And in your heart, it now echoes with the strains of an old song newly discovered. Embrace this song, and as you play it in battle shall ever more powerful emotions beset and temper your soul. When your stock of tales has grown, pray return and regale me with stories of your adventures.
Dude, I could tell you such stories. Even at just level 50, I could tell you some things that would make your gray hairs curl. The Warden's Pain. Honestly, a very underutilized skill. Level 40, and Bard's Eye View.
It is good to see you return, Dekumon, and more seasoned still for your time in the world. Call me a spoony bard. But as a man in the winter of his years, it gives me great joy to observe an adventurer in the spring of his. This is an odd time for recollection, but it was a spring day when a bard first came to my hometown. He played the most sorrowful chords, even as his words tantalized the ear of the breath of one's first love. Many a maiden's heart was stolen during his visit, and doubtless more besides. Dekumon, would you believe that common bards too were born of archers? This may seem far-fetched upon first hearing, but it isn't so far a stretch. Ask yourself this: what becomes of soldiers when conflict gives way to peacetime? Some have lives that may return to, aye, but most must needs take up a new trade to make ends meet. Well, it so happens that many who'd once had bent the bow took to strumming the harp. They wandered the realms, singing passionately and earnestly of the war as seen through their own eyes, of sweet victories and bitter defeats, of sacrifice and cowardice. Their songs so captured the imagination of the people, nary a day passed that a bard was not called to perform, be it in a humble tavern or some great lord's hall. Alas, their popularity proved their downfall. Intoxicated by the attentions of the masses, the bards took to embellishing their songs in a bid to outdo one another. And, over time, each song was shorn of verity, till the bard's repertoire contained not one shed of truth. By now you will know that such songs have no purchase among men's hearts. Certainly a bawdy tune may set off fits of laughter in a sailor, and a sorrowful ballad summon tears from the eyes of a soft-hearted maiden. Yet these are but pale shadows of what songs can truly achieve. For a blessing, this decline did not escape the notice of the Mughals. As great patrons of the arts, they feared that the true power of song might be lost to mankind.
Oh, that bread trap's back already.
So it was that they labored to gather and safeguard these crystals known as souls of the bard, that they might be bestowed upon worthy men and women. Now, well as I know you relish listening to my sermons, I dare say it's past time we moved on to the practical side of the lesson. I know I have mentioned this before, but tell me, are you perchance familiar with the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool?
Not particularly.
Nay? Well, that won't do at all. We must remedy this post-haste. The song recounts the massacre of Griffin Crossing, a battle that took place decades past, wherein countless Gradolian lives came to a premature end. Ah, but do forgive me. I seem to have mistaken the proper order of things. Before I begin, I must be convinced that the point of the tale will not be lost upon you. Elsewise I will have wasted my breath in the telling of it. Now, heed well these instructions. You must make your way to Welwick Wood, where resides a mated pair of old goats that have but recently lost a kid. The pair has been driven mad with grief, and only death will put an end to the uncontrolled rampages.
Oh, that's sad.
Linger in their territory until you encounter the beasts, then let fly your arrows of mercy. As you liberate them from their sorrow, so too shall your soul resonate with the echoes of poignant melody.
Oh, that doesn't feel too nice. At least this was a little easier to get to than that damn rock. Alright, I'm looking for a pair of goats to pop up. There they are. Morning Nanny and Morning Billy. I'm sorry! Oh, sorry. Picked up a stray there. You know what, this time, Mr. Kedtrap, you can just stay there and just stay out of the way.
Welcome back, Dekumon. I can almost hear the cries of mourning that have seared themselves into your soul. That you remain unbowed by such anguish is a testament to your spirit's fortitude. Yet even as your heart swells to contain these new experiences, you must not neglect your skills with the bow. A resilient heart must needs have a robust body in which to beat. Once you have trained both to equal strength, then I shall perform for you the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool.
Ooh. I'm very interested to hear said ballad. In the meantime, I will pick up Army's Paean, the second of the 3 core songs. I remember Ye Old Bard, where all you did was just put on Mage's Ballad and then go to town on enemies because Mage's Ballad was just a passive that drained your MP to regenerate other people's MP. Whereas Army's Paean drained your MP to, restore other people's TP, which was a thing back then. Yeah, physical people, well, I should say, all classes had access to TP, but only the physical classes actually used it. It was basically their version of mana. Don't ask me why. I'm guessing it was just a holdover. I don't know why they don't just use mana. It makes more sense. In context, there's a lot of classes that just basically have a dead mana bar that don't do anything with it that I really think they should. Anyway, our first 45 quest, doing it the Bard way.
Welcome back, Dekumon. By your tranquil countenance, it is plain that both your body and soul are in readiness for the next stage of your journey. Very well. The time is ripe that I teach you the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool.
Bleh, Vainglorious Fool. Tongue-tying myself today.
The song tells the tale of an archer of the gods' quiver, whose peerless skill was surpassed only by his hubris. Alas, that hubris led to the annihilation of his entire regiment at the battle which has come to be called the Massacre of Griffin Crossing. Why do I feel like that might be you?
I think it is.
Standing guard in dead of night, an archer wearying of the sight, drunk on pride and starved of glory, forsook his post to claim victory. 10 yalms had the archer crept, when shrieks rang out whence his comrades slept. For he was not there to see the knives, nor to ring the bell and save friends' lives. Tell me, Dekumon, what lessons can be learned from this tale? Ah, but hold that thought. What your tongue claims to understand interests me not. As before, I'd sooner have you demonstrate the fruits of your learning with bow in hand. This time, however, you shall have the pleasure of my company.
Oh.
I would have you escort me to the Gilmora ruins in the North Shroud. It is there that some few fallen from the massacre of Griffin Crossing have been lain to rest. Pray honor this place of remembrance with a bouquet of lilies. Heed me, O puissant Altic. Cast thee back into the realms of the firmament, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore.
Okay, no, he was definitely the fool in that story. I see a duty calls. What am I gonna be fighting, ghosts? Well, there are plenty of other things around here to shoot. This is the right spot, right? Oh! Ixtal.
the enemy van.
Oh. Some serious PTSD there, my friend.
No, I cannot.
Yep, 100% he was the guy in the story.
Why? Why do I still draw breath?
Dude, PTSD later, fight now. Or at the very least, just get back and let me deal with them. Please? Come on.
That sin of the past would beget another.
Forgive me, Dekumon. Nope. Not surprising. Alright, time to start raising hell. I do have Mage's Ballad, so I might as well use it, even though it really is not going to do me a lot of good on any of these guys. I also reminded of the Heavensward version of this, where you basically had to have your dots on things in order to actually proc Mage's Ballad. Now it just goes off on its own. No, you don't. Alright, that's in a different spot for when I'm playing Dancer. There we are. That takes care of that little problem. Now, to see about my trainer. Where are you at? Ah.
As you have doubtless noticed, I am no longer capable of wielding a bow. I, whom they call the God's Bow. I had hoped that the years would take the edge off the memories, but I hoped in vain. Absolution does not come so easily. Heed me well, Dekumon, or I shall reveal all to you. The man sung of in the ballad of the vainglorious fool, whose hubris doomed an entire regiment. He and I are one and the same.
Gee, I might have called that.
Being no stranger to the bow, you will know that the archer's role in battle is that of support. His charge is to thin out the enemy's line, that his comrades might gain ground in the field of battle. By that most basic of criteria, I was unfit to hold a bow from the first.
Too busy trying to chase glory for yourself, huh? Wanted to be the front man. Either that or it looks like you ran away from people. What are they all getting up as? Oh, as zombies. Accusatory zombies.
In my pride and lust for glory, I sent countless souls to a bloody grave. Good men and women all, with loved ones and bright futures awaiting them. I lost the will to live that day, becoming an empty husk of a man, tormented in sleep and wakefulness both by the memories of my crime. But the gods were not without mercy. They gifted me with song, that I might find a measure of solace in my wretched existence.
Yeah, well, fate be a bitch sometimes. Why am I wigging out? Oh! My soul crystal's having a fit.
A new melody resounds within you, I see. Though this outing was rather far departed from what I had in mind, that it still bore fruit gives me comfort. On that note, let us conclude the lesson. I dare say I have no cause to worry that you will repeat the self-same mistake as this vainglorious fool. Dekumon, I would be alone for a while. Take yourself back to camp. I shall make my own way there presently.
No nod. Huh. Oh, Jahatnal, what are we gonna do with you? We gotta get you over your PTSD.
I'm glad to see you safely returned. Though I rasp my voice hoarse through the saying of it, I cannot tell you enough how much I regret dragging you into such a danger.
Don't worry about it.
And yet, there was more I would ask you. If you would do me the kindness of lending your ear, then pray speak now.
Shouldn't be. Oh, someone else pissed off the leaf monster. And for my reward, Reign of Death. Lovely AoE action. Alright. Our other 45 quest, and the one I believe gives most of the artifact armor, Pieces of the Past.
You will listen to my request, though you know me for a vainglorious fool I am. I'm humbled. The boon I ask of you is simple. I would have you sing for me.
Will you sing for Jahantel? Sure. Oh, honestly, the poor guy seems like he could use it.
A heartfelt performance, masterfully delivered.
Wait, I did it already? The game literally was just fade to black and fade back in. I figured there'd actually be some semblance of, you know, a scene of me performing.
You have come far in such a short time, my young apprentice. Hearing your song this day, I am convinced that you are well on your way to surpassing me, as bard and archer both. Soon there will be naught left for me to impart to you. Dekumon, you have proven yourself worthy of the consecrated garments worn by the true bards of old to honor the keeper. I speak of the choral attire.
Yeah, been there, had that, threw it away, it was ugly.
The attire was entrusted to me when Puknapoki and I first met, deep within the Twelves Wood. The Moogle and I had traded scarce more than a handful of words when he proffered to me the attire, along with the soul of the bard. At that time, I knew not the true power of song, and so declined the gifts. But Puknapoki would not be denied. For all his good humor, the Moogle can be as unmoving as a rock. The attire chooses the wearer, not the other way around, he insisted, and I found myself yielding to his will. In mastering the verses of war, I won acclaim beyond my wildest dreams upon the field of battle, and for a time I was well pleased. Alas, my lust for glory knew no bounds, and the consequence of which you are already aware. It was in the wake of the massacre of Griffin Crossing. Stricken with guilt, I wanted not more than the earth to open up to swallow me whole. I'd lost the will to live, but I was too craven to end it myself. And so I took to wandering aimlessly, in search of a place to die, far away from the judging eyes of men. Disillusioned with the power of song, I committed an act of folly. I scattered the choral attire across the realm. If truly the attire chooses its wearer, I challenged, then let it find its way back to me. Determined that I would not be proven wrong, I went to great pains to ensure that the attire would never again see the light of day, and the pieces now rest in places of peril. Being the proud fool that I was, it never crossed my mind that mayhap another was meant to don it. I would entrust the choral attire to you, Dekumon, but as you can see, you must needs brave the dangers to claim it. I shall mark its whereabouts on your map, but I can afford you no further aid beyond that.
It's alright, won't need it.
I am deeply sorry that my folly of years past has entailed this burden upon you, but Althik works in mysterious ways. In his wisdom, it may be that he has sent this trial to test your spirit. I mean not for my sentiments to encumber you, but I am convinced that you are the one chosen by the choral attire. But pray do not take that as a license for complacency. Trials won't be called such if they fail to tax one's ability. Stay ever on your toes, Dekumon. I would have you return whole of body and bearing the 4 parts of my sundered raiment.
And there's our first nod.
Heed me, O puissant Aethik. Reverse thee the seasons turning, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore.
Alright, go find the coral armor. Again. Well, there's the first piece. Alright, well good. It's not going to freak out that they're already in my inventory, which is kind of what I was a little concerned about. There's number 2. This makes 3. And the 4th and final piece. Thank goodness for flying. Trying to get around this would have been a pain, especially considering how deep in the Sylphlands I have to be for this one. Alright, Jahantel, I got all the pieces.
So you have returned, sound of body and mind, I trust. And you bear the 4 parts of the choral attire. And a 5th, I didn't give you that one yet. I knew you were the true owner for these garments ere I heard your song. Since the day we met, your determination has reminded me of much that I have lost, and would have again. I have at last settled my heart on a matter that has plagued me for some decades. When my preparations are complete, you shall know of my decision. Until then, may your song lift the spirits of your allies, and your arrows seek the hearts of your foes.
Huh. I like that praise. Anyway, last quest for today. Requiem for the Fallen.
You have done well, my young apprentice.
Dude, stop sounding like the damn Emperor.
In returning with the choral attire, you have reaffirmed my faith in you. I see no further reason to withhold from you the existence of the final piece in this set, the piece that has brought us together. Listen well, Dekumon. When I put down my bow, I vowed never again to set foot in the Twelveswood. That I now forsake my oath is for no other reason than to impart my knowledge to one who would succeed me. Lest you wonder why I should deem that so important, permit me to relate to you an event which brought about a great change in me. My most recent journey had taken me to Ul'dah, where I found myself ambling through the marketplace early one morn. Browsing the wares on display, mine eyes were met with a relic from my past, a piece from the choral attire that I had discarded decades before, countless moons away. I felt at once that it was not mere chance that had reunited me with it, and put forth the corn with nary a pause. Holding the garment in my hands, I resolved to find a worthy heir to my legacy. Alas, no sooner had I arrived in the Twelveswood than I found myself mobbed by archers seeking to hone their skills. Amongst those who came, not a one showed the least interest in poetry and verse. Sorely discouraged and regretting my decision, I made to strike camp and leave the Twelveswood once more, never to return. It was then that you appeared, young one. When you expressed your desire to learn song, I could scarce contain my joy. Looking back, I am fully convinced that our meeting had been preordained. Your coming has instilled me with the courage to attend the matter of which I spoke earlier. I am ready to make a pilgrimage to the scene of my regiment's demise. Ever since that fateful day, I have been haunted by visions of my fallen comrades, torment graven upon their bloodied faces. Lost to hope, but too craven to end my own life, I wandered the land aimlessly, seeking a place to die, but the heavens denied me even that. Yet just when it seemed that despair would draw me wholly into its black abyss, never to emerge again, a melody resounded within me. It was then that I awakened to the power of song and found new purpose in life. I embarked upon a journey to master such verses as would bestow peace upon the fallen, that I might lay the tortured souls of my comrades to rest.
Ah, that's what the final duty calls is going to be. Us fighting the lamented ghosts of the people who basically died for you.
It has taken long years, but now I believe I can offer a requiem worthy of my comrades. To do so, however, I require one last favor of you, Dekumon. I would have you escort me to the west of the Observatorium in the Kurthis Central Highlands. It is there that we shall find the scene of my regiment's demise. Your presence kindles within me a courage I had not lost. I would have none other by my side as I undertake this pilgrimage, now as I enter the most daunting stage of my life. Once you arrive, I ask that you pay your respects with another bouquet of Namira lilies. When my requiem is sung, you shall have the final piece of the choral attire. Huh. Heed me, O puissant Arthik. Reverse thee the dance of the stars athwart the night sky, that we might ease the suffering of souls long departed.
Yep, here we go. You know, I'm reminded, not for the first time in this game, of Final Fantasy X and the sendings that were needed to deal with the spirits of the departed. You know what? Just for funsies, let's do this in the small clothes, just for funs. Not like it's gonna make it any more difficult, or any easier. Plus we have the bonus of, you know, getting to see my character in his skivvies. You know, it's funny, I was doing roulettes the other day and I saw someone with a perfect Godbrand cosplay, which was basically just running around naked and even having invisible cestus because they were playing monk. And they were called Manderville Man. I just saw that, I was like, oh, that is perfect. What the? I'm supposed to be here sending the souls of the departed to their rest, not dealing with the goddamn Ixal again. And you guys really want to cause trouble? That's fine.
We are surrounded. and our foes seem disinclined to listen to parley or my beautiful music. You must survive this, Dekumon. My soul is overburdened with the deaths of too many dear companions.
Alright. Sneak our second nod into the video. Alright, let's see if, you know, me making a unique fashion statement is gonna make this any easier. Oh god, I just realized I am downsync to hell here. This might actually be a bit of a challenge. I mean, I doubt it. My accessories are probably carrying me. Did he freaking home gang me? Oh, he did, you little bitch. There we go. Definitely don't want to do this for the 60. There we go. We got all the other ones out of the way. Can I actually go after you now? Alright, change over to Ballad. Okay, big one's down. Just gonna deal with the rest of the little ones now. There, we get them all? Perfect. And I even got to do that without any clothes on. It's a fashion statement.
Dekumon, without you I would not be standing here this day. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Forgive me, my friends. I have kept you waiting over long.
Uh-oh. I think it's time for my man to pull his bow out again. There, we're finally over our PTSD.
The Keeper be praised. I can wield a bow once more. It was you, young one, who helped me to remember how. I had known this for some time, but your presence is as a salve for the wounds of my soul. Your coming has delivered me from the nightmares of my past. My worthy successor, to you I entrust the final piece of the choral attire. Don it, and go forth to fill the hearts of men with courage and purpose. Though the seasons may turn, bending a man's back and dimming his eye, so long as there is life, there is reason to hope. Thank you, Dekumon, for showing me the truth of this. Now, please go put on some clothes. I'm getting rather embarrassed here. Also, aren't you freezing? It's literally the middle of the freaking winter in this area. With the blood of my comrades upon my hands, to simply draw breath racked me with such guilt as I could not bear. But the time for mourning is past. I shall take up the bow once more and lend what aid I can to the god's quiver. In fighting for those who yet live, I do my fallen comrades the greatest honor.
I'm sure the Archers Guild will be thrilled. Oh, hang on. My soul crystal is glowing.
Yet another melody resounds within you, I see. That there is not more I can impart to you. As equals, let us together give praise to life and all the joy that it brings. Heed me, O puissant Althik. Turn thee over the hourglass of time, that we might exult in the glory of all creation. In thine exalted name we sing, that the living may savour life, and the departed know true peace.
Ah, that's nice. He got closure, he needed it. Okay, enough pretending to be a nudist. Let's turn this one in.
I thank you again, Dekumon. You have blessed this old fool with a gentle touch of salvation. Eorzea awaits. Go forth now and inspire endless hope and courage with the beauty of your songs. Maybe once again, or may we one day meet again.
I'm gonna be honest, not my favorite questline so far. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was... No, honestly, it wasn't good. I don't know. Hopefully the Heavensward questline can make up for it a little bit, because this one was kind of meh. But my friends, that is going to be it for today. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a like and favorite, and subscribe to join me for more Eorzean job listings. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.